Hi folks, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to my very messy allotment. It's not looking pretty at the moment, and you might have noticed I took a bit of a break from YouTube recently, and I did take a break from doing my allotment jobs as well, really. And I just needed a bit of time to kind of recharge. Stuff has been crazy with work and it's just been a lot, but I'm feeling really good today. I really just kind of woke up and I was like, you know what, it's time to get stuck in. I've been putting stuff off lots and worrying about it, and today I'm just gonna do stuff. I'm just gonna look at the stuff that needs doing and do it. So I have no idea what today's video is gonna be like. I'm just gonna do it and I'm gonna take you along with me. So I really hope you enjoy. First thing I'm gonna do is just give you a little look around, show you how it all looks at the moment, and talk about some of the to-do. And then I'll start doing stuff. So I don't want to spend too long talking about what needs to be done. I'd rather just start doing it, but I've got to show you around quickly. This is the bed that I've dug over, and it should be green. This has all been sowed with cover crops, and it should be a thick kind of green blanket. You know, I've looked at some of my plot neighbours and where they've sown cover crops, and it's gone wrong. I don't know if my crops have been eaten by birds or slugs, you know, I don't know if the seeds have been eaten. There is so much going on today. There's so many planes flying around. This bed is covered in grass, which, you know, I can't see any clover. I can't really see any of my vetch that I sowed. I did see some of that early on and it's gone now. So I think something's eating it. My leeks are kind of hanging on. Compost bays, they really need a sort. My dumping ground still there, that's fine. Shed still standing, just about. Rest of the beds, I've pulled up a load of stuff now. All the courgettes and butternut squashes are gone. Absolute calamity with my butternut squashes. I left them on the ground for too long and they all got completely eaten by slugs. So I'm feeling a bit upset about that, but these things happen. That's my fault for being lazy. Once again, this bed is meant to be green. It's meant to be loaded with cover crops. The only thing that I can see is some of these radish plants that have survived. But, you know, no clover, no winter rye, no vetch coming up there really, so not sure what's gone on. Broccoli, that's still here. That's why I come up every week. I go, yep, broccoli is still here. Brilliant. Fantastic. This bed with the cover crops as well, maybe a bit more successful. I'm not too sure. Other bed, I didn't actually sow cover crops in there, but that needs a bit of TLC. Apple trees, they need a prune later on in the year, but for now that's all looking okay. I do have a big pile of stuff at the back there that needs it going in a skip really, but our skip deliveries seem to have stopped. Strawberry bed, look at this, absolute grass mound. This needs a lot of work. This all needs a lot of weeding. I do have some suckers for replanting. Oh dear. And then just over here next to the greenhouse, you can see this bed has just become absolutely loaded with grass. So that is a super quick whip round. I'm going to talk a bit now about the greenhouse because you can see it's the middle of November and my chili peppers are still hanging on in there, which is quite a surprise to me. I knew that they'd keep going, but they're looking generally pretty healthy, apart from, you can see we've got a big issue here, and that is mold. And what's happened is, I kind of knew that it might, and essentially I've left the louver vent open on the greenhouse, but that's it. The rest of it has all been closed up because I've just been only coming up once a week. You know, I can't come up twice a day to open and close it. It's just way too much. So some of these plants have started to die back. We've had some light frost, but these are doing okay, but airflow is a big issue, and you can see some of the plants are absolutely loaded with chili pepper pods. I've just been waiting for these to ripen. So this is my first task of the day. I'm going to get in here, harvest as much as I can. If a plant still has loads of green peppers on it, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to try and get some more. But if it's mostly just ripe peppers and it looks like the plant is done, then I'm binning it. It's going in the compost. Time to be ruthless, clear this out. Hopefully, if I can clear out half the plants in here, then it will really improve the airflow. Oh my goodness, so I've stopped the time lapse because I've just spotted something very concerning. A new development in my pepper growing and a new obstacle down here under my cayenne plants. You can see something has been eating my peppers, I think. This does not look at all like just something that's naturally happened. You can see all down here. Now, I'm gonna have to research what this could be, because I thought that all mammals were put off by capsaicin, you know, so I didn't think it could be mice or rats or rodents or anything. But yeah, look at this. Something is getting in and eating these, which is not good. But yeah, we can see generally most of these plants still looking kind of healthy. They've yellowed off a lot with the temperature falling. Moisture in here is getting to be an issue. Oh my goodness, up here as well. What the heck is this? Ah, this is not what I needed. Oh well, I'm gonna carry on getting a few of these out, and then it's time for the big culling. Deciding which ones are going and which ones are staying for a little while longer. So everything's out. I was finding more and more evidence of something getting in and eating my chili peppers, so that is a bit frustrating, but mostly I'm just intrigued by what it is. But I've got all of my different food bags here with all their labels on, so I can keep all the harvests separate and do my measurements. So I'm gonna crack on. This is gonna take a while. It always takes so much longer than I think. It's coming up to 1 o'clock now, and we'll see how long it takes me to get most of these harvests off. So I'm trying to be conscious of time today. I don't want to spend too long talking about peppers, but this is putting a big smile on my face. This is a nice harvest from just one plant. It is pretty much the majority of its harvest. I've not had too many of these. These Sugar Rush Long Peach taste incredible, but they take a long time to ripen. So with these plants, I've pretty much just left them, and I've gone, right at the end of the season, I'll just take them all off. And there's a couple that have gone over on there, but most of them are fine. So I'm gonna carry on. 2 plants down. Okay, so harvested a few now, but I found my first one that is definitely getting cold. This is my mystery pepper, and I had great hopes for this because it's from a seed of one of the tastiest peppers I ever grew. But these peppers look nothing like the seed that I grew it from, and they're just a fairly standard red habanero, which is a lovely pepper. I like a red habanero, but because this is some kind of cross, I think that's my working theory anyway, you can see it's not very productive. There's a tiny handful of red peppers on here, and they're all very small. I've really not had a very good crop from this one. So there's a few more little green ones on here, but this one is getting the chop, going in the compost. That's typical, isn't it? I wanted a nice quick shot of me just picking this up, and I tied it to the bamboo too well. I've just started looking up here at all my kind of super hots, my Chinense varieties, and you know what? They've done much better than I thought. If I take one of these out, whoa! Wow, okay. Yeah, this is really good. I didn't think that these were gonna do much because these have a longer growing season. I thought I'd kind of, you know, messed these up, and I wasn't gonna get much more of a crop, but this plant just in here, I'll pick up the camera and show you now. Oh, that's really good. That has put a smile on my face. That's a really nice surprise. Okay. Oh, look at this. I'm much more excited about this than I was expecting to be, but look, this plant here, this orange habanero, look at all these. That's gorgeous. This is what they're meant to look like. And you know, you can just see that this is very behind. It should have looked like this a couple of months ago, but it doesn't matter, we're here now. And this one plant seems to have got off quite well. And it is one of the ones in a smaller pot, so that does go to show. There's another habanero back here. A few ripe ones on there as well in the smaller pot. So, hey, that's good news. So I've just been merrily harvesting away, and I have spotted that there are a few that have been opened up by slugs, and you can see a little bit of slug poo there. So that's how you know, but I don't think that's what's done the majority of the damage elsewhere. And losing 1 or 2 of these, not really a big deal. I don't really mind it. And here I think I found the next one for the culling. There's a few green peppers on here, 1, 2, 3. Oh, it is difficult getting rid of green peppers. That one's a candidate. This one is another orange habanero. It's a bit bigger, a bit healthier. There's a few more on here, so I think I might leave this one and just get rid of this one, which is, like I say, quite painful. It's quite difficult. I hate doing it, but it just feels like it's got to be done. This is so time consuming. And as you've seen, there's so many other things that I need to be getting on with at the allotment at the moment. So the more peppers I can get rid of now, the less work there is in the future. One thing that is really interesting about these is that these are some of the healthiest looking plants. There's definitely no mold or anything like that. And I think that's because all of these are right next to the louver vent. So these have got the best airflow. Now the next one to go is actually the one that I was just getting really excited about, having lots and lots of pods. And the fact that it's got lots and lots of pods is good. It means that the majority of the fruit is done. And there are a huge number of tiny, tiny little pods on here, which is a good indication that it's kind of ready to go. So unfortunately, we say goodbye to this one as well. Something that is quite interesting, I mean, this one's got a little cluster of 5 or 6, and it doesn't really matter if I don't get those, but peppers don't ripen when they're green. You know, if you take them off the plant, they don't continue to ripen. They're not affected by ethylene gas. But if you leave this, oh, little fox, hello. If you leave it like this on the branch, then there's a chance that they'll draw the sugars and the nutrients out of the rest of the branch and continue to ripen. So when there's a little cluster like that, I'll keep them. And you know what? I think I'm quite impressed with this plant. The pods that I've just seen, I'm now emotionally connected to it as well. Whoa! Oh, that's really good because it puts such a smile on my face. So I think I might have a candidate for overwintering. Once again, I don't want to talk too much about peppers this episode, so I'm just going to chop this back to its main stem. And I think I'll take this one home with me and let it overwinter in the conservatory. Now, I've mentioned these a few times and my despair with them, but these are my Ahi Norteno plants, and as you can see, they're looking a little bit wilted at the moment. But I know for a fact, since I last showed these on video, I've not had a single pepper off here. And honestly, it looks like about 3-4 peppers on here might be ripe. A lot of them, like this one, still just half ripe, and they take up so much space in the greenhouse. So most of these I feel sad about getting rid of, but this is just a relief. I kind of enjoy cutting these down just to spite them. I mean, they might do quite well in a who could grow the tallest chili competition, but I hate it. They've wronged me. I feel wronged by these plants. I cared for them for a whole year, and they gave me nothing, nothing in return. So I've done a bit of complaining about the plants that I'm not so happy with, but this one is one that I am going to keep hold of, and it's looking really good. There's a load of pods on here that are just ever so close to being ripe. There's a nice isolated one on here, so I can get some pure seed from it. Really good. I don't mind keeping this one for just a little bit longer. And last, I've got these Ahi Fantasies. 2 plants, one with the treatment, one without, and I think it's time for these to go, really. There's a few green peppers on here, and this one's got a few that aren't ripe. A lot more green peppers on here, actually, the non-treatment one, but they're not my favourite pepper, really. They're okay, but I'm not that invested, and they're both big, and they're currently on the floor, so it's time to be ruthless and get rid of these. So I think that's it. I've got a little graveyard down there. I've got 2 to take home for overwintering. So there's still quite a few chili pepper plants in here for the middle of November. We've now got 6 up on the tables. There's a couple of jalapenos. I'll say it right one day, jalapenos. Some of the peach ghosts as well that are still kind of looking like they might give me some good fruit. I've got one of my Reaper cross douglers on the floor. There's 2 poblano plants in here as well. Still some good sized poblanos on these that I'm just waiting to turn brown, so they're fully ripe. The ones back here, I assume are going to carry on getting eaten by something. I've left a load of the sugar rush pods on here as well, because they look like they might just ripen up a bit more, and I didn't want to get in and sort out the quad grows properly because that's a big job. And back there, you can't really see it now, but I've got another Ahi Fantasy plant, and these are just refusing to ripen. So I'm just going to leave that. You know, I'm leaving the quad grows anyway. We'll just see. We'll see if they all go rotten and horrible, or if it all ripens up. But the main thing is a lot more space in here now, hopefully a lot more airflow, and I'm going to cut back these mouldy cayenne, and then maybe I can think about something else that I was meant to do today. Goodness me. And it's got to be said as well, I am quite pleased with the harvest today. It's absolute mess while it's all in bags. Here I've got a few of my isolated seeds, not as many as I would have liked, but I always put my isolation bags on far too late in the season and don't get enough. But I'll take all these home, weigh them all up, and it will go in the spreadsheet for the end of year kind of season review video that I'll do at some point. Hopefully this will be the last that we see of the chili peppers until that video, when they're all ripped out and I can show you exactly how my experiments went and my harvest quantities. And another thing that I do need to do, you can see all of my chili pepper plants up here. There's quite a lot. I like to go through all of this with a pair of sharp secateurs and make sure it's going to break down properly. So that's going to take a while, and I won't be doing that on camera. So that's peppers. You will have seen from the title that this didn't go to plan. You know, it's really difficult figuring out how long stuff is going to take. It's always a pain, and it's a real difficult time of year to be making videos. You know, there's loads and loads of stuff that I want to be doing and lots to be doing, and I feel really recharged after my break. You know, I love being up here and I love working at this time of year. It's so like crisp and fresh, you know, but it's really difficult making videos, mainly because of light levels, you know. So today I was like, okay, I spent too long on the peppers. What I'll do is I'll get to work on the rest of the plot and I'll put that into another video for next week. But there isn't time for that. You know, each video normally takes like 2 to 4 hours work for a 15-20 minute video. And I haven't got another 2 hours to spend up here. I think that's going to be a bit of a pattern for the rest of winter. And I think what I'm going to do is just come up without you guys, you know, work on the plot and just kind of really enjoy my time up here. I love working on camera, that's why I enjoy making the videos, but the videos that I like making, I like to put a lot of time into, you know, and I like them to look nice. And it's really difficult to do that when you're rushing against the clock. You make a lot of mistakes, I make a lot of mistakes anyway, and it makes everything just, there's just not enough time to make the videos that I enjoy making. So my point is, I'm gonna try and forget about YouTube a little bit and just come up and enjoy my time up here, get the plot looking kind of ready for winter. And maybe I'll just have to do a few plot tours when the light is good, because I can't film after work. So I'll have to maybe come up on a weekend and just show off some of the stuff I've been doing. I prefer doing stuff on camera, you know, and talking to you guys as I'm doing it, showing you the difficulties, what doesn't go right and what goes well. But I think I'm just gonna have to leave the camera at home for a little while, because that will let me stop worrying about what I can do and what time. I can just come up, do what I can do and leave it there. I'm gonna shut up now, I'm just completely rambling, but I really hope you've enjoyed seeing the chili peppers. I'm sorry that we didn't get to look at more of the plot, but I'm gonna get the rest of the plot looking a bit nicer, and maybe I'll do a plot tour in a few weeks. I will show as well, hopefully, the big clear out of this, because that's one of my favorite jobs, is getting everything scrubbed down and cleaned and it just feeling all fresh for the new year. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you ever so much for watching, and for watching to the end as I ramble on and on. Hopefully I'll see you again next time.